There was this horse trail that was nearby, so we decided, hey, let's go to the horse trail, like, with the family. I haven't turned off the fan. Oh my god. Hey guys, so welcome to the second day of VEDIJ. Today is my birthday, actually. So today I'm going to be going through 17 memories I've had, because I'm turning 17, by the way. 17 memories I've had featuring my cat who's laying right here. And so the first memory actually has to do with my cat. When I first got her, she was about a year old, and we were at the shelter. Oh my god. It was in this room, just with like two kitties, and I saw this one cat, and I was like, wow, that's an adorable cat. I want to pet it, but the cat kept on running away. And then my mom was petting my cat, Crystal. Hello. And she was like, Isabella, come over here. Like, look at this cat. She's being completely calm. She's very nice. So I put the cat a little bit, and I was like, you know what, Crystal, you're, like, her name wasn't Crystal, I named her Crystal. And I was like, yeah, that's a cute cat, whatever. And I tried to go back to the other cat. And then this cat, this one right here, was like, no, I'm not gonna let you go that easily. And so she followed me as I was walking, like, on this ramp nearby. And I was like, you know what, I'll just pet her a little bit more. And I just pet her, and then she just, like, kind of just puts her both her paws on my shoulder, and she starts, like, climbing me for attention. She's like, hold me. So I picked her up, and my mom was like, yeah, we're getting that cat. I didn't exactly choose the cat, but in the end I got the kitty I wanted. Second memory, finding out Santa wasn't real. I was reading the tag, and it said, like, from Santa, and it was in handwriting, and I was like, that looks like Dad's handwriting. So I asked my mom, I was like, this is Daddy's handwriting. She's like, no, all guys just have the same handwriting. And I kind of believed her, but I think it was just gone. I was like, oh, yeah. The third memory I have is when I found out the tooth fairy wasn't real. I had to go to bed, and I was just playing around with my tooth, and it fell out, and I was like, oh, I'll just put it under my pillow now. And then the next morning, it was still under my pillow, and I was like, I see what happened. And so then after, I was like, no. When I was about 6, we went to Brazil, like, my family went to Brazil. We went to the beach. They gave me a sea urchin, and I was like, I didn't want to hold it. I was like, I don't want that. And then my mom was like, no, we have to get a picture of you with this. So I was holding it, and in the picture I was probably like, I don't want this near me. And it was like crawling on my hand, and it was really weird. And we were in northeastern America. I don't exactly remember where, but it was up there. And we went on a trail ride with horses. And I got this horse. His name was Lady. And I was like, oh, this is a nice horse, whatever. And the entire trail ride, Lady was not being a lady. Lady was farting up a storm, and it just smelled bad. My sixth memory is when I started playing trombone. I started playing in 6th grade, so I was about like 11 years old, and I was deciding between flute, but I saw a flute and I was like, that's too many buttons. So I went to the trombone, and I was like, well, this is cool, it has a slide, I'll just do that. And so I ended up getting it, and I remember when I first got, like, I got the trombone, it had arrived, and I was unpacking it, and like the homework was put it together. He told us, like, don't play on it because you're probably going to end up playing it wrong, and I don't want you to build bad habits or anything. I broke that rule, and I was like, I'll play something small, it's okay. And so I played like my first note there, and I was like, oh my god, this is weird, it feels weird here, and like, it was really interesting. That was a fun memory. Memory number 7 is when I first started watching YouTube. I had like kind of watched YouTube before, like my cousin really liked YouTube, not Maureen, a different cousin, but he liked video games. So the first YouTuber I watched was LD Shadow Lady playing Minecraft, and I loved it so much. Like, I was like, this is amazing, like, I want to do this. Even though, like, I sucked at Minecraft, most of it probably consisted of me screaming because I just, Crystal, no! First person I watched was LD Shadow Lady, officially. That was the first person I watched. And I kind of forgot her name until really recently, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. So I subscribed to her, and now I watch her a lot too. So, yeah. My 8th memory is kind of disgusting if you don't really get it. Like, when I was young, parents always pushed my sister and I to eat weird foods. So we grew up eating stuff like crabs and artichokes and sushi, and just not the normal thing. It's not like, we didn't get chicken tenders all the time. We got something weird. And so one of the things I was pushed to do pretty recently, my dad pushed me to try raw oysters. It's slimy, and I was like, I don't know if I want to try that, but I don't know what clicked in my head, like around 3 years ago, where I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna suck it up and try everything that like people put in front of me. I tried the raw oyster, and it was really slimy, but it tasted okay. And I was like, I kind of like this. So I continued to eat some more, and so now every time we order oysters, I get some, and I eat some from my dad. And he kind of yells at me because he's like, this is my food, but yeah, he lets me have some anyways. The ninth memory I have, and like just to like tell you, these memories are completely out of order. Ninth memory is when I first read Harry Potter. I remember my friend did a presentation in 4th grade on it, and it was like, oh hey, here's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, this is what it's about, it sounds really cool, and I was like, wow, that sounds like a pretty cool book, I'm gonna read that. So I borrowed the book from her, and I read it in like a week, and I was like, okay, I need more. And I was in 4th grade, and I was like, I need all of this. And I had read the entire series in under 2 months in 4th grade, because I was just constantly reading. I was like, oh my god, I need this. And I just remember going through it, like reading every word and loving everything. My 10th memory, now just to kind of like give you some background on this, I played soccer for a couple of years, and I sucked at it. Like, I was horrible. I mean, the only thing I was good at was giving assists, and I could assist like anybody, but I never scored a goal. I was really bad at that. And so the first time I scored a goal was actually on accident. And I was like, oh my god. It's kind of freaking out. I was like, wait a minute, I just scored a goal. It was really funny, and I actually scored the second goal that game. Those are the only 2 goals I ever scored. I suck at soccer. I suck at athletics in general. But one of my teammates was offside, so the second one didn't even count. But the first one, it was like, I tapped it and it rolled in, and I was like, wait a minute. I just scored a goal. Oh my god, that was my first goal. So yeah, it's very interesting. Memory number 11. I went to my first real concert in 8th grade, and it was to see Michael Bublé. And I love Michael Bublé so much. So I went to his concert, and like the part that stood out to me the most, actually there's 2 parts. One part was when he introduced his band and they all did these crazy solos, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. That trombone player is amazing. I want to do that. Yeah, I suck at playing jazz. Anyways, second memory I have is when he just walked out, no band, nothing. It was like an encore sort of thing, and he had nothing. Just him in his tuxedo, and just like he walks out and he sings without the microphone. And it just echoed across the stadium, and it was just like, oh my god. Number 12, my first day of high school. I remember this. I woke up extremely early. Like, you're supposed to wake up early, but I woke up earlier than I really should have. And I got to the bus stop extra early too. Like, I was just like I was on it. I was ready. And that was the only like freshman newbie thing that I did. Because like when I showed up, I was used to campus. Because marching band, I was on the campus. Also, one thing that threw me off is my school has 3 bells. The first bell, there's the 2-minute bell telling you like you have 2 minutes left, and then the late bell. And so when the second bell rang, I was like, oh, I haven't left this hallway. What? One of the juniors had to explain to me like, there's 3 bells. You're safe until you hear the 3rd bell. Number 13, jumping all the way back into kindergarten. In kindergarten, I was not necessarily a great child. Not that I was like a mean person or anything. I just talked a lot, and I got in trouble a lot for that. That's just like one of the memories I have, constantly changing my tag to like yellow or orange. And my mom said she had gotten a couple of calls home like, hey, your child got on red. I knew there was no punishment. I mean, it was punishment of 5 minutes timeout, and I was like, 5 minutes of being allowed to sit down and do nothing? Okay. Number 14, my first time driving. Was a really scary experience. My dad was like, hey, you want to drive? And I'm like, no. We were just staying in my neighborhood, and the speed limit was like 30, and I could barely get to 30. I was so scared. Number 15, I was a big bookworm, as I read Harry Potter twice. And I read the first time 2 months. The second time I read like in a couple of weeks. Like, it was really fast. I always read really fast. I read a lot of books. I was always a high reading level, all that. And one of my friends was also like that. And she was actually in my soccer team. And so like looping it all back around. And so when we would hang out like before soccer practices or like after competitions or something, our like hanging out was just really us reading books. That's all we do. We just sit on the couch and read books, and we do that for like hours. And my mom's like, hey, what do you guys, oh, you're reading books. Number 16, last year, I was really just like not having it one day where I was just like totally upset. I felt a migraine coming on. My teacher was like, okay, we need to do a practice essay for the final exam or whatever. And I was like, okay, do I have to do this? I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. And she was like, you have to do it though. And I was like, fine, I'm going to make it completely sarcastic then. At the top, I literally titled it Stupid Essay. Like, she gave me the grade, and I was like, oh my god, how'd you give me such a good grade on this? Like, I just completely, like, just threw it out. I didn't care. Like, and she was like, if I completely ignored your sarcastic remarks, it was a really good essay. So, without trying and being completely sarcastic, I got a good grade on writing. Don't do that. My final memory, it's nothing of a big bang or anything. I hadn't seen Titanic yet, and I watched Titanic. I've only seen Titanic once fully through. And that one time was my first time, and I bawled my eyes out. Like, I was watching it with a friend of my mom, and then it gets to the sad part, and I'm like trying to hold back my tears, and I'm like, you know, it's okay. And I start crying, and in the end, when I was listening to the song lyrics, I just start bawling, like full like ugly sobbing, crying, like on the verge of just screaming. And it took me a couple minutes to calm down, and I had to walk my friend home, and like the entire time I was just like crying, and I was like, I'm so sorry, bro, why did this happen? Yeah, that was my experience of the first time seeing Titanic. Very interesting. Thank you for watching this video. That's all I have for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, maybe just for my birthday as a nice birthday present, please. Social media is down in the description below. Maybe comment any memories that you have that you really enjoyed, maybe with family, friends, or just something silly. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which should be out in like 2 days. See how that goes. Bye!